tell it everywhere I go. Tell the world, tell them. Yeah, I'm a
I found this video on
And action.
because I have no life, so I just watch YouTube videos.
It was awesome.
And I'm watching this video, and my message today was how Jesus changed his lives. 2 weeks ago, Travis talked about who Jesus was and what did he do. And last week, we had Dan talk about the resurrection, which was incredible, by the way. And I think this video really ties in everything that we've been doing for the past couple of weeks into this one moment. How does Jesus change your life? So, can you go ahead and play it?
We stand, we rise, we care, our lives. We stand, we rise, we care, our lives.
It began long ago when darkness through its deceit captured the hearts of the sons and daughters of light. We looked for light, but we found only darkness. We searched for bright skies, but walked in gloom. We fumbled like the blind along the wall, feeling our way like people without eyes. We were destined to fall, even in the brightest days. We stumbled as if it were dark. Among the living, we were like the dead. We looked for justice, but it never came. We looked for rescue, but it was far from us. So he himself stepped in to save us with his strong arm and his justice to sustain him. He put on righteousness his armor, salvation his helmet. He clothed himself with a robe of vengeance and wrapped himself in a cloak of divine passion. He slipped out of his royal garments, left eternity to enter time, divinity to wrap himself in humanity. The sea of glass for the ocean of separation. He left peace and for the first time felt pain. Because the very hands that held the stars were now sentenced to wear my scars. It was love that purchased this traitor's heart. It's what the prophets spoke about when they envisioned light living in men once again. For this reason, I am legend, predestined for greatness, built for the final hour. I was born for this. With weapons in hand, armor in place, I now march to the beat of a different drum. I will break through battle lines that have been drawn by discouragement and despair. What more is left to be said? Time has met its end. It's now or never. Collision with me, myself, and I. You see, my mission today is clear. To wake the dead. So let freedom's song rage. You're not abandoned. You're not alone. Last day warriors, arise from yesterday's ash and raise your fist with us. We are the army that's charging upon the land. Defeat is no longer an option. It is victory. We stand, we rise, we live our lives. We stand, we rise, we live our lives. We stand, we rise.
Tell me that's awesome. All right? And I'm watching this video, and I cannot believe how great those words sound. The hands that held the stars were now sentenced to wear my scars. Jesus didn't die because it was good for his health. And you know, when we think about the resurrection, when we think about Jesus dying, what is the point? Why did he die? What was the point of him hanging on the cross and doing what he went through? Yesterday, I was looking back through my life, and just looking, what did my life resemble? In the past, I've only been a Christian for 3 years, and I'm looking at the past 3 years, and what was I doing? What am I like? Well, I came to this one inconceivable fact. I'm not normal.
Amen.
I'm not normal. In fact, the world terms, they call me weird, strange, and downright wacko. All right? I don't know how many know this, but I carried this giant cross today across campus, and my heart was literally pounding in my chest. And I'm carrying this up the stairs, and I see these classes getting out. And with my luck, I walk upstairs, and every single class on this floor is getting out, and everyone's walking out. And I'm just looking at people's faces. I love watching them. They're like, and they don't think I can hear them either. They think I'm deaf, which is the funniest part. Because in this world, I'm wacko, the strange, and the weird. Why am I called this? Why do I look at my life and this is what the world says? Because a weirdo does not work Sunday mornings, he goes to church. A weirdo reads his Bible on a daily basis. A weirdo does not hand his life over to someone he doesn't see, someone who doesn't even really, has never seen his face. Who in this world can hand their self over blindly to something they've never seen unless it's Jesus Christ? Jesus is the only way where I'm considered a weirdo, a stranger, and an wacko. In John 15:19 says, "The world would love you as one of its own if you belonged to it. But you are no longer part of the world. I chose you to come out of the world, so it hates you." If you truly love Jesus Christ, if you are walking with Him daily, because He changed your life, He chose you to have righteousness in heaven, the world will hate you. You will not be part of the world. You will not want to go hang out with other people of the world, because you will look at their lives and wonder, where is Jesus? Does anyone know what the term rhino means in political terms? Anyone know? A rhino is a Republican in name only, which means that they could not, if I'm a Republican, I'm a Republican rhino. I do not stand on any of the principles of a Republican. I am nothing like a Republican, but yet I call myself a Republican. It's in name only. Isn't that what Christians do? Christians call themselves Christians, but there's no evidence of their lives that show that they stand on biblical principles, or they go out and they express themselves in their faith. Look in your life. Who is a Christian rhino? And I know a lot of names come to our minds when I say that. My testimony is, I don't know how different it is from other people's, but I didn't become a Christian until I was 16. I was raised in a Christian home, but I really could have cared less. Especially in middle school, I cussed, didn't care, those jokes, I was on the sports team, so, locker room stuff, didn't care. Had no respect for my parents, which I look back now and I'm like, that guy was a weirdo. And I got this Bible. It's a Gideon Bible from my friend Marty Gerhardt in 2008, who was an exchange student from Germany who was interning at my church when I used to live here before. That's what he said. George Sisson, if you read this book and take it seriously, Trey, it will change your life and the lives of other people. God bless you, Marty Gerhardt. October 19, 2008. It took me 2 years to get that. It took me 2 years to finally start taking this seriously and applying it to my life. I was wallowing in my sin. I literally went to bed some nights wondering, what is the point of getting up in the morning? I got tests I didn't study for. I got homework I didn't do. My parents pretty much want to send me off to an orphanage because they frankly can't handle me anymore. My brothers are scared of me. What's the point? The point is that if you accept Jesus Christ, He will change your life. Maybe not the way you think, but it's the way He thinks. People are always like, well, I gotta kick my drug habit before I can accept Jesus. Or I gotta get away from this relationship before I accept Jesus. No, you accept Jesus and then He kicks your drug habit. You accept Jesus and then you can get out of that relationship. You accept Jesus and then the stuff will start happening. You don't have to prepare yourself to accept Jesus. He did that on the cross. Jesus died for you on the cross so that you'd be able to accept Him. And it's amazing how people give of deep joy